Here's your First Warn weather forecast first. Sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
High pressure out to the west of us, keeping us nice and quiet and fairly comfortable, although it's been a little warm out there. The humidity, however, has been dialed back from the last few days. That high pressure system will slide to our east over the next couple of days, allowing not only the warmth to return, but bringing back some of that humidity. We are now up to 87 in Rockford, 83 in Freeport, 83 in Rochelle, and down to 81 degrees currently in Poplar Grove. Heading through the night tonight, the clouds you see out there this evening, that'll fade away as temperatures slowly drop back through those 60s, all the way down into the mid 60s overnight. Now, we do introduce a few showers and thunderstorms, very isolated though, next couple of days. Timing that out and a look at what the 4th of July weekend has in store. Coming up in the First Warn forecast a little later.
Community leaders respond to the end of services at a Rockford hospital. What officials have to say about Mercy Health's Rockton Avenue campus.
Plus, Illinois' governor chooses a running mate for his re-election campaign, who he selected to be his next lieutenant governor and why.
And major renovations set for a Rockford park. The upgrades coming courtesy of state funds.
Live from WTVO 17. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. We thank you for being here. Tonight at 5, community leaders are reacting following the announcement Mercy Health is suspending hospital services at its Rockton Avenue campus.
Eyewitness News reporter Blake Dietz spoke with the mayor and aldermen about what this news means for the city's future. Blake, what did they have to say?
Yeah, it's something that many say they unfortunately saw coming. And although the news is still a disappointment, they say it's time to focus on the future of the facility. Now in 2021, Mercy Health eliminated inpatient services at the campus, moving emergency room services to its new campus on Riverside. Mercy Health CEO Javon Bay cited a decreased volume and flood damage from a 2018 storm as reasons for the shift. That same year, Mercy Health's chief medical officer said the company would continue to keep the facility open. Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara says he was disappointed in 2021 and is disappointed today, but that the city is moving forward with new goals.
Yeah, so one, we don't own the facility. Mercy Health System does. So they too need to have the onus of what are they going to do with that property. From the city of Rockford standpoint, we're going to continue to invest all over our city, specifically on the west side. And we're willing to partner with anyone who wants to call that campus home.
I'll have more reaction from other community leaders coming up in the full story at 6. Wendell.
Thank you very much, Blake. Tonight, a man convicted of killing a woman at a Rockford convenience store learns his fate in court. A judge sentenced 45-year-old McLin to 165 years in prison. The jury found him guilty last year of the murder of LaTanya Whitfield. On June 10th of 2021, Rockford police responded to a shooting at the Quick Mart on 7th Street. They found a man with a bullet wound. Shortly after, Whitfield was brought to a hospital with gunshot wounds, where she later died. Investigators determined McLin was the suspect, and he was arrested less than a month later in Arizona.
We have an update on the hit-and-run incident from last month that left a 15-year-old cyclist injured. Rockford police arrested Tyrone Cochran this morning. He's charged with failure to report an accident, along with outstanding warrants for DUI and domestic battery. He was booked into the Winnebago County Jail. On June 20th, Alice Hunt was hit by a car that ran a red light as she crossed the intersection of North 2nd and Ethel Avenue. Surveillance video caught the incident. The driver did not stop. Police arrested Cochran after identifying him as a suspect.
We now know the names of the victims killed in a plane crash in Boone County over the weekend. The county coroner says 60-year-old Scott Wentz and 74-year-old Kenneth Zorinsky were killed Saturday when their small plane crashed into a cornfield in Capron. No details were given by officials as the cause of the accident, but we do know the National Transportation Safety Board, the FAA, and the Boone County Sheriff's Office are all investigating. Still in Boone County, the coroner has also identified the victim of a fatal semi-crash from Saturday. This happened on Shattuck Road, along US 20 and around 10 a.m. Officials say 63-year-old Donald Ruff was killed when a Freightliner hit him. The driver of that Freightliner is cooperating with investigators.
The U.S. Senate passes the president's federal spending plan with Vice President J.D. Vance breaking a 50-50 tie. All Senate Democrats voted against the big, beautiful bill. They were joined by 3 Republicans in opposing President Trump's legislative agenda. The final decision came following a 27-hour voting marathon. The bill includes a permanent extension to the 2017 tax cuts, no taxes on tips, and increased funding for border security. The bill now heads back to the House to vote on the Senate's changes.
Governor Pritzker has announced his running mate for the 2026 Illinois gubernatorial election. The governor has picked Christian Mitchell to be his lieutenant governor. Mitchell serves in the Illinois Air National Guard. He's previously served 3 terms as a state representative and served as deputy governor during Governor Pritzker's first term in office. He was also previously the director of the Democratic Party of Illinois. Mitchell speaking today on joining the governor's ticket.
Governor Pritzker's been very clear. Every day he wakes up, the first note that he sends my way is about the people of the state of Illinois. He's running to be governor of the state of Illinois. I'm running to be his partner in governance. I will say it's really good for the state of Illinois that we've got a governor who people think could be president as opposed to going to prison, as some previous governors did.
Multiple candidates have already announced their intentions to run against the governor. DuPage County Sheriff James Mendrick and Joseph Severino, a capital management professional, are both seeking the Republican nomination. Phil Perez, who works with the Posen Park District, is running as an independent.
State Representative Maurice West is highlighting organizations receiving funding from the state. West joined local leaders and business owners at Fairgrounds Park this morning. Over $10 million is being spent on state-line nonprofits, businesses, and projects. These include the Family Peace Center, the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois, and the Rockford Park District.
This is the community's park. It's not the park district's park. It's our communities, it's our families, it's our partners. We got the Boys and Girls Club across the street, got the Salvation Army right down the road. We partner with the YMCA. We offer free swimming lessons every single day at James Leslie Harkins Aquatic Center, and this is your park.
You can find a full list of state-line organizations receiving funding on our website, mystateline.com.
The Greater Rockford Chamber of Commerce is looking to honor a community member who has positively impacted the Rockford area over the past year. The Chamber has opened nominations for its annual Citizen of the Year award. Last year's winner was John Groh, the CEO of Go Rockford. The Chamber says the nominees can come from any profession and industry.
Honoree can come from any walk of life, any industry. It does not have to be someone who is in business. They actually don't even have to be a member of the Greater Rockford Chamber of Commerce. Someone who is just dedicated to our community and wants to make it a better place.
The Citizen of the Year will be announced at the Chamber's annual dinner in August. Nominations are now open through July 14th.
July 4th, just days away, and that means fun, celebrations, and fireworks.
So when we come back, we'll hear about how those fireworks can impact veterans and how you can help.
And while we've had dry skies out there this afternoon, we bring back just a small chance for an isolated storm or two, both Wednesday and Thursday, but things look to dry out just in time for the 4th of July. Find out if that carries over into the entire holiday weekend. Coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Friday, our nation will celebrate the 4th of July. But for some veterans, the 4th can be triggering, especially for those with sensory issues or PTSD.
Eyewitness reporter Tyler Sorensen was able to talk to a veteran about how some veterans cope and how he celebrates the holiday. Tyler, what did he say?
Yeah, Mimi, Wendell, he said he's going to celebrate it by having just a backyard barbecue and keeping it fairly low key. But he also knows that for some veterans, this time of the year is very difficult for them. America's Birthday, a celebration synonymous with fireworks and loud noises, something that could be difficult for veterans.
4th of July is, obviously one of the biggest celebrations we have in the United States. It's very loud, it's very noisy. There are a lot of things that some veterans don't deal well with.
The biggest triggers are the loud noises, the smell of gunpowder, or even just the surprise of the fireworks.
You have to understand that for some people this is a great time to celebrate the birth of our nation, but for others the sound of explosives may jog back some memories that maybe they don't want to have, and it may have an ill effect on them.
Jesus Pereira is the superintendent of the Veterans Assistance Commission of Winnebago County. He says that the best thing for loved ones to do is to check on veterans, including your friends or even neighbors that served, making sure they are okay.
Support is really important, especially family members and loved ones. If you see someone reacting in a terrible way, spend some time with them, talk to them, and if you need to, move away from the situation.
Even with the triggers, for some veterans, the 4th is still a time for them to be proud of their service in the military.
The vast majority of all veterans are very excited about 4th of July. It's a huge celebration. It reminds us of what we did, why we were there, and the sacrifice that they made.
The best way to say thank you is not by fireworks, but by waving the American flag.
The American flags, when you display them, especially outside your home, and we see those flying, it's really one of the best ways to say thanks.
Now, the Veterans Drop-In Center will be closed on the 4th since it is a federal holiday, but they will open for their normal hours the following Monday. Wendell.
Tyler, thank you. Here in Rockford, you can watch the fireworks at whatever volume you need from the comfort of your own home.
Our annual special, A Celebration of Freedom, begins at 9 p.m. over on Fox 39. The fireworks start at 9:30. This year, we have 2 drones flying through the fireworks to bring you up close to all the sights and sounds. Well, no surprise, it's hot in the state line.
It's July, so right it should be. When we come back, Candace will let us know about the ongoing heat and our continued storm chances. Her full forecast is next.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
I hope you were able to catch the spectacular sunset yesterday evening. Some of those clouds departing just in time as the sun was setting on the horizon. This was a beautiful picture sent in from Esther down in Stewart yesterday evening. You just see the gorgeous color over the bean field, absolutely picturesque. And then to the north, later in the evening, there was a thunderstorm north of Madison. You could actually see those billowing clouds and the lightning up on the top of it. Just a gorgeous evening, and it was somewhat comfortable too, in fact, not necessarily overly humid, which is nice, and some of that kind of comfortable weather, even though it's been warm, carried over into this afternoon. We look live with our Merciel SkyTrack camera out at the Poplar Grove Airport here late this afternoon and evening. Those fair weather cumulus clouds that we had out there today, as we get closer to sunset, they will clear out, leaving our skies mostly clear through the night tonight. Now, this last hour, we've warmed to 87 here in Rockford, 84 in Rochelle and DeKalb, 82 now in Harvard, and 83 our current temperature out in Woodstock. Our weather watcher, Jean, down in DeKalb, says it's been a warm day there in DeKalb County, 83 the current temperature, relative humidity at 46%, and just that breeze coming in at around 9 miles per hour. High pressure off to the west of us, helping to keep us nice and clear. In fact, you can see much of the Midwest and the Great Lakes really void of any storm systems. That'll change next couple of days as we've got a few little disturbances that rotate in around the jet stream going into tomorrow afternoon, which could fire off maybe a very isolated thunderstorm or two. But for tonight, that temperature will drop down to 65 degrees. We're up to 88 for tomorrow underneath a partly cloudy sky. The day tomorrow, and same thing for Thursday, are going to start off very similar to what we had this morning. Sunshine, and then through late morning into the afternoon, those clouds build up. But the difference between tomorrow and today, those cumulus clouds will start to grow a little more as we pull in a little more moisture and we add in a few disturbances. So what's going on? We've got these upper level disturbances. Think of these disturbances as mini low pressure systems in the upper level of the atmosphere. So a ridge of high pressure building out to the west of us. We're kind of on the northwest end of this, or northeast end, I should say, of the ridge, but underneath that northwest flow. So within that, you get these little low pressure systems that come through. They're not strong, but there's just enough oomph to kind of allow some of those clouds to build up and give us that isolated thunderstorm chance. Now, with any thunderstorm that may develop, the potential is there for some gusty winds along with some heavy rainfall. So that's why both tomorrow and Thursday feature that marginal, which is just an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm. And when I say isolated, I'm talking coverage about 20%. Really not looking at anything more than that throughout the day. So let's plan this out on Futurecast. Here's that isolated chance going into tomorrow afternoon. You get the peak heating of the day, so after about 2-3 o'clock tomorrow, a couple of isolated thunderstorms develop, so you're either going to see it or you're not. And it's not going to be anything widespread. We'll clear things out again tomorrow night. Same thing happens on Thursday. Sunny skies to start off with. There's a little more of a lake breeze, and we might have just a slightly better chance of getting a thunderstorm or two for Thursday afternoon because we do pull in more moisture during that time. After that, ridge of high pressure builds in, which brings in that warmth, and temperatures are back into the 90s as we head into the 4th of July holiday. But with that ridge, it limits our thunderstorm chances. That'll break down a bit Saturday, Sunday, so we may see a few of those return as we're back into the 80s then by the time we get into next week.
Thank you, Candace.
Scott's next with sports.
And he'll fill us in on a trade that the Blackhawks have made.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
The Blackhawks aren't expected to make a big splash addition to their roster this offseason, more like work around the edges a bit, and that's exactly what they did today. They acquired veteran forward Sam Lafferty from the Sabres for a 6th-round draft pick next year. Lafferty was with the Blackhawks a few years ago. Last season, he played in 68 games with the Sabres. He averaged less than 10 minutes of ice time per game. He has 1 year left on his contract for $2 million. And the Blackhawks prospect development camp continued today in Chicago. Their 3rd first-round draft pick last week, Mason West, is at the camp. The big 6'6" forward is also a standout quarterback for his high school team in Minnesota. He can probably play that sport at the college level, but West is convinced he made the right choice pursuing a hockey career. And he's glad the Blackhawks traded up to have a chance to draft him.
I've always liked Chicago, especially after the combine. I think we had a really good relationship, and going into the draft, I was excited to see where I was going to go. Obviously, it's a dream come true. I've always loved Chicago. It's always been my favorite team. I have a lot of family from here, so yeah, it's been super cool.
Well, the Bucks are waiving guard Damian Lillard. They had high hopes when they acquired him a couple years ago, but his 2 seasons in Milwaukee were a disappointment. Now that he has a torn Achilles, he wasn't going to help them next season either. They still owe Lillard $113 million. On the upside for the Bucks, they have a deal with former Pacers center Miles Turner. They'll pay him $107 million over the next 4 seasons. Turner averaged almost 16 points and 7 rebounds per game last season. He helped the Pacers reach the NBA Finals. The Pacers wanted to keep Turner, but signing him to a big contract would have pushed them over the luxury tax. The Bucks needed a big man since Brook Lopez has signed with the Clippers. What a year it's been for Oklahoma City Thunder star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was named the MVP. He won a championship. Now he's going to be the highest paid player in the league by far. He gets a new contract for 4 years worth more than $71 million per season. We've got baseball tonight. The Cubs host the struggling Guardians. The Guardians are batting 191 over the last 10 games. The White Sox will face the Dodgers late in Los Angeles. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Well, our first warning interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Glass and More. Nice and quiet out there, and the cloud cover we have will fade away, which will lead a mostly cloudy sky through the night tonight, and temperatures dropping back into the low to mid 60s. Should still feel pretty comfortable out there. Humidity will start to creep up in the days to come, and we'll add in just an isolated thunderstorm chance both Wednesday and Thursday afternoon, with the 90s returning by the 4th of July.
Thank you, Candace, and welcome back.
And thanks for watching. We'll see you at 6.